Good morning, everyone. On this Monday of the third week of Lent, we are reading this morning from the second book of Kings, chapter 5, verses 1 through 15ab. Naaman, the army commander of the king of Aram, the highly esteemed and respected by his master, for through him the Lord had brought victory to Aram. But valiant as he was, the man was a leper. Now the Arameans had captured in a raid the land of Israel a little girl who became the servant of Naaman's wife. If only my master would present himself to the prophet in Samaria, she said to her mistress, he would cure him of his leprosy. Naaman went and told his lord just what the slave girl from the land of Israel had said. Go, said the king of Aram, I will send along a letter to the king of Israel. So Naaman set out, taking along 10 silver talents, 6,000 gold pieces, and 10 festival garments. To the king of Israel he brought the letter, which read, With this letter I am sending my servant Naaman to you, that you may cure him of his leprosy. When he read the letter, the king of Israel tore his garments and exclaimed, Am I a God with power over life and death, that this man should send someone to me to be cured of leprosy? Take note, you can see he is only looking for a quarrel with me. When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his garments, he sent word to the king, Why have you torn your garments? Let him come to me and find out that there is a prophet in Israel. Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. The prophet sent him the message, Go and wash 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will heal, and you will be clean. But Naaman went away angry, saying, I thought he would surely come out and stand there to invoke the Lord his God, and will move his hand over the spot and thus cure the leprosy. Are not the rivers of Damascus and Abana and the Pharpar better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be cleansed? With this, he turned about in anger and left. But his servants came up and reasoned with him. My father, they said, if the prophet had told you to do something extraordinary, would you not have done it? All the more now, since he said to you, Wash and be clean. Should you do as he said? So Naaman went down and plunged into the Jordan 7 times at the word of the man of God. His flesh became again like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. He returned with his whole routine to the man of God. On his arrival, he stood before him and said, Now I know that there is no God in all the earth except in Israel. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. What an incredible account of Naaman's healing. It was all because this little girl who was taken in captivity in a raid, she was an Israelite, and she knew that there was a man of God, Elisha. And so she opens her mouth and says, well, he just needs to go and see this man of God, and he will be healed. And then on top of that, he gets word from his own master, Naaman's own master, the king of Aram, and this letter goes to the king of Israel. With that, the king of Israel is incredibly fearful because what in the world? Notice what he says. Am I a God with power over life and death? I mean, leprosy was horrible. And everyone basically knew only God can heal this stuff. It's just so horrible. And so you see the king of Israel just petrified. He feels like he's being cornered in this one. But Elisha says, no, God can do this. And he gives him the instruction to Naaman, go wash yourself in the water of Jordan. Now, even in this day, the River Jordan was not a nice river. Yes, it's very nice up in the north over by the Sea of Galilee. But way down south, by the time it gets there, it's mighty dirty. And it's just all the sediment that seems to go in there. And so it's not like someplace you really want to go and wash yourself in. So no wonder why Naaman thought, why would you want me to go there in the River Jordan? It's horrible. There's plenty of good rivers where I'm from. But his servants gave him sway, saying, if he asked you to do this, and it was something extraordinary, you would probably do it. So why don't you do this? And he does it. And the last words that he says when he meets Elisha, now I know that there is no God in earth except in Israel. Now the drama starts. Naaman is going back to serve his king, and that king has many, many gods. How is he going to work his life and live his life where there are so many other gods there? That's another story. Stay safe, folks. Hopefully we see each other soon. Bye for now.